Hey guys, today is April the 14th of 2021, and I wanted to go over Uranium Royalty Corp, URCCF, using the Gann price and time technical analysis. One of the challenging things when you do technical analysis and study and invest in a chart, it's the challenging part is when it becomes an IPO and it first starts trading. There's not really a lot of data. It's kind of hard to find support and resistance because it's pretty much brand new. So you're starting from scratch. I, on the other hand, think there is valuable information when it starts trading. Like example, the first day of trade is very important. The time that it opens is very important. The price that it opens is very important. And the important low that it does, the first swing low. As you can see, this is the first swing low and then the open. Right there's a lot of important information that to the novice trader or technician would be like, okay, yeah, it's 56. I mean, the low, it opened at what, 92? I'm right. Yeah, and this is a monthly chart. Yep, it opened at 92. And then, you know, the date and all that. But they'll be like, yeah, it's just a date. It's just a low. What can you get out of it? There's a lot of information you can get out of that, but I'm not going to get into that because that video, I'm not doing that kind of video. That's more for like the Gannist, you know, hardcore Gannist that it's into that kind of stuff. This is just kind of more just seeing where we're at with this instrument, and interesting to see that it's trending higher. So that's a good thing to know. So without any further delay, let's get into it and let's see where we at and what could possibly be the outcomes in the next couple of months. We're first off going to be using the Gann monthly waves. As you guys have been following my series and my videos, this is a technique that I'm back testing, and for you, fortunately, you're seeing it live, especially on a brand new baby stock, uranium. One of my holdings, Cameco, URA, and URCCF. So I got royalty in the uranium sector. I'm playing the big boy, Cameco, producer. And then I got the ETF, URA, which I got a whole bunch of stocks in there, playing that wave also. So according to Gann's theory, in regards to, I call it Gann's waves, like Elliott wave, Gann has his waves. So you count 3, and then you go 4, and you go 3, total of 7, and you continue the count. The interesting is that he never, he talked about a reaction point within after the third count, and he wasn't really, detailed on how to go about that if you count from there. So I'm assuming I'm just gonna call this one a no skip. And you can see that we just go straight into the fourth count, which totals a 7. And then from here, it explodes up, which the reaction was pretty, it was like a bounce, but then it just kind of went sideways. Didn't really go anywhere. Total of 7. And then from here, it started just trending up 3. And now we do 4, and 4 leads us into May. The reason why I put May high is because I'm looking at my other holdings, and since we don't really have data or anything on this instrument, it's kind of hard to predict. There's no seasonality, there's no natural cycles. It's just really, this is what we got, and this is what we're playing with. So if you're gonna get any cycles, you're gonna get them definitely between the probably between the weekly and the daily, and most likely more the daily than anything, because that's where things are developing in regards to us, minuscule sky cycles within once it, starts trending and or having more data in the chart. But this is the monthly, so we just kind of seeing what could happen, and we end up a count of 7 in May. So I'm assuming we're probably gonna, make a high in May and then maybe see what's gonna happen from there. Now, if we do the count where there's a skip for the reaction point, which is right here. What's interesting? Gann said that if it goes sideways for 2 months, he said that the third month it explodes either up or down. And you can see that it really didn't do anything here in September. It was kind of more like an inside, if you want to call it inside month candle. So you can see as an example that sometimes even what Gann said doesn't really pan out. But, you have to have it in the back of your mind. It says if there's 2 months, the third one's going to explode. That should just be in the back of your mind. So if you got a candle like this over here and it's up, that's it. That was the sign. The next possible candle that's going to follow is going to be this one right here, over here. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. As you can see, that sometimes things don't pan out. But anyway, I gave it a skip for a reaction point. Started counting on the next one. We have a 4 and a 7. And then the explosion. So either way how you go about it, there's something unique about this counting system. And I don't know which one is the right one that Gann used. So you have to be open-minded and flexible and, experiment until you probably can see like, yeah, you know what? The skip doesn't really do much. I like it when it's just continuous. It makes more sense. And I see a lot of, good things when I do that. So it's all up to your discretion. So we get an explosion, 3 here. And now we're working on a 4. And the 4 leads us to June. And the reason why I made it lower, so I could have 2 outcomes, possible outcomes, is because in the uranium sector, I don't know, I'm not going to say the uranium sector, I take that back. On the chemical one that I have and own, the price action within that instrument is kind of weak between June and July. So I don't know if chemical is going to affect everybody else, but since I have that one, I'm using it as a reference point. That chances are, if chemical is going down and maybe all the other ones are pulling back down, chances are maybe, royalty could probably get a pullback. It's super strong. It's not going to be tugged down by the other big ones. It's just going to do its thing and maybe continue going higher. So it's just something, as a something I have in the back of my mind. So anyway, I put this lower for June, and it ends there, the 4th bar, to see what happens. We can either go sideways, but then I'm assuming, that we're probably continuing the uptrend higher. So let's get that out of the way. Next thing I wanted to show you is, by the way, as a side note, Coinbase opens today, so I am watching that one right there. And as you can see right here, I have the dollar. It's trending lower. I'm looking at gold to see. It's been just going back and forth and not really exploding up. I got a position on Yamana Gold, AUY. I'm in at 450, so I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens on that. But anyway, I digress. These are cycles that I've pulled from URCCF, Uranium Royalty. And the ones that stick out to me in the spectrum is the 308 and the 147. I'm experimenting with something new in regards to harmonics within these 2 cycles. And the ones that come out at me are the 99, the 74, and the 51. So what I did, I got the big one, 308. This is the one that's like the strongest, because it's nicer on the spectrum. 147 that has more of a, it's just pretty much one to use the most because it's more important than this one. And then from these 2, I got these harmonics, and this is what it's coming out. Is it necessarily going to do this? No, it's going to do its own thing, but it's just showing you that there's a downturn coming down, and it's going into May, pops up, goes down maybe into July, then it goes up. But this is just something, if I see price action going lower, then chances are maybe these cycles could play out. But if it's just going sideways and going up, you could just pretty much avoid this because it's not happening. Price action is going to do its thing first. But it's just it's always something to have as a guide, as a map, just in case things start pulling down. You're not caught off guard and be like, oh, what's going on? If it's going down, then you could be like, hey, maybe it's going to follow these lines, and it not necessarily does it have to follow it exactly, but it's just a guideline, a guiding point that it could possibly pan out. Let's go into my charts over here. And let's see right here. So in regards to Elliott wave, we have 1, 2, 3. We're working on a 4. If it pulls back, 4, it could be anywhere between the 267, 232. And if it pushes higher, possible wave 5s all the way to 418, even to 514. So Elliott wave comes handy because it gives you some projections, to the top side. This is a weekly chart. Everything looks good, on balance, volume is looking good. Everything is just bullish. There's nothing bearish about this chart. Above the 20, above the 50, everything looks good. Looking at the daily, same thing, 1, 2, working on 3, or actually, if this is not taken out, this is 3. Possible wave 4, like I said, 271 all the way to this wave 4 here, 237, which is the 50. Great area to buy. And the 20 right here, which you got the support, swing pivot high. You're kind of in the MOVO band. It's kind of like smack in the middle. But if you get to close above 312, chances are it's going to retest this and maybe even push higher. If it closes below 299, you might test the 20 and this possible wave 4 projection, which is 271. Like I told you, this one right here. But everything is looking good. On balance volume, it's kind of like on the bottom. MACD looks like it's about to turn on the daily. And Stokes just kind of going sideways here. Volume, let's look at that. Kind of dwindling a little bit, but you got to understand this is a baby stock. No one really knows too much about it, but it's getting word out there. Another thing to look at, let's see our linear regression channel. So it's right smack in the middle. This is a possible target up here that I wanted to show you guys. And this is a trend line that I've drawn, trend line from here. So we're in good shape. We're just in the middle. Just consolidating, just going back and forth, battling out. And using our Gann box, you can see that we hit this line right here as a resistance. And this line has now become, since it's below, it's been resistance. This angle right here is going to be support if we get down there. And using our fib extensions, or maybe I don't have it on this one. My fib extensions, I believe I have them over here. And I wanted to show you this chart. This one is my, kind of like the start of everything. So I have the date of birth, the 14th. I've opened at 92 cents and opened at 12:15 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you're a Gannist, this is all vital information. If you're just, a certified, technician, then this is just a date for you. But for Gannis, there's key information here. We made a low at 56 cents. So if you're a Gannist, this is vital because if you go out 52, 56, did I say 52? No, because I did write 52 here, but for some reason the low was 56 and this chart was wrong and I actually fixed it today. We made a low on at 56, and if you go 56 bars into the future, leads us to today. So, Gann 101, you take the low of the price, 56, and you look for 56 hours, or you can look 56 days, 56 weeks, long term, 56 months. It happens to be that we're at 56 weeks. And Gann always says that when price and time collide, not that it always happens. I always get, texts and emails. It's like, dude, you said this and nothing happened. I always say there's a possibility that there's a change in trend. And we're at it this week. So don't start shorting it, looking for stocks to short, and don't get out of your position. This is just the way Gann thought in his mindset. I got to look at price action. I got to look at volume. I got to look at this. If it starts making lower highs and lower lows, in hindsight, then you say, like, you know what, this 56 bar, really panned out. But if you're, nervous and whatever, it's all your choice on what you want to do. I'm just telling you the techniques that you use when when a stock starts trading, and there's nothing else you could go by besides just price action. These are the kind of techniques you use. So another technique that you could use is the open. The open, I always said, and I learned this from Michael S. Jenkins, that in the opening price, there is a DNA embedded within the stock, and it's at 92 cents. So you go 92 bars into the future. That leads us to October 18th, that week. Is it going to be bullish? Is it going to be bearish? I don't know, but it's just something that I had to look into the future. Especially if you use Gann's technique, that's how your mind has to be. You can't, you don't assume where is it going to be at. Is it going to be low? Is it going to be high? All you know is that that week comes in, you want to pay attention to that price action and all the other techniques that you learned from Gann, and just see what's going on around the week of the 18th. But what's important in this week is that price and time from the low, they have collided this week. And you can see that things are kind of getting a little weaker, but nothing to be spooked about. This is a weekly chart. But I just wanted to bring that up and show it to you so you could just be aware of that. And that you can learn when an IPO comes, find that low and do the price and time. And then just see how it behaves with your instrument. Let's go into my last chart. And this one is going to be fun because I did a couple of things. I did some cycle work here. This is the annual. And you can see that even with the annual, there's really not a lot going on. This is just picking up from like what happened, in the past. As you can see, the yellow is the annual, so I painted it yellow so I could show the sun. And you can see that right here. It's showing, a down, but not necessarily has to happen, but it's just showing, this pointing lower. And these are the blue or the green. That's kind of the cycle, the composite. You can see that it's topping out here on the red. It's pulling back down, going up, while the green pointing down into July, and then there's the blue one that makes a low here and then goes up. So it's kind of like inverted with this one. So I picked the three important ones on this spectrum cycle analysis. And then lastly, I have machine learning. Even with the small data that I got, I just wanted to see how it behaves. You can see this giving me a lot of hits. So as of right now, it's saying that there's a high on the 5th, and that on the 23rd, there could be a possible swing low. Kind of lines up with these spectrum. And that there's a top on the 10th. And interesting was the second week of May, which is, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of stuff going on for May. And then it makes a low June 6th, a little pounds 6-7, and then a good low at June 22nd. So let's see how it pans out, but I figure I'd show you all that. Harmonics, this one has a lot of hits. I don't even want to get involved on that. But that's it. Well, I'm into 19 minutes. I thought it was going to be like a 10-minute video. But anyway, I had a lot to cover, and I haven't covered this, and I've seen some people on YouTube talk about it. But I wanted to, they probably talk about numbers and fundamentals, all that. I wanted to give you was just what the technical side and what the cycles and, other things that I wanted to show you, what, could be in the guidelines. But this is a brand new stock, it's going to do what it's going to do. So it'll be interesting to see how it's going to pan out. But I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you enjoyed it, you liked it, and you got some key information. If you're on the sidelines, you're watching it, cool. I'm on the side of the boat. If everything starts going down between June and July and it starts tanking or selling off, I'm going to be buying in those 2 months, because I think it's going to be the one of the best opportunities to get in at a discount price. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think about the cycles. What do you think on uranium royalty? It's going higher. Is it going sideways? Is it going lower? Are you in? You're watching it. You're waiting for a discount. Let me know your thoughts and what your position is and what you think could possibly happen and where we're going from here. I'm going to sign out. I'll keep you posted on uranium royalty using double Gann price and time technical analysis.